More problem arose when a hand pump started to block up the debris floating around the cabins, and an electric pump short circuited. The water level rose threateningly. Back on the deck, I found that our two spare hand pumps had been wrenched overboard, along with the forestay sail, and the jib, the dinghies, and main anchor. Then I remembered we had another electric pump under the chart room floor. I connected it an out pipe and was thankful to find that it worked. Now, the hand pump was blocked. The electric pump short circuited as the water level rose. The narrator found two hand pumps had been removed along with rope, jib, and small boat. He found another electric pump. He connected it to an out pipe, and suddenly it started working. The night dragged on with an endless, bitterly cold routine of pumping, stirring, and working the radio. We were getting no replies to our mayday calls, which was not surprising in this remote corner of the world. Sue's head had swollen alarmingly, and she had two enormous black eyes, and now she showed us a deep cut on her arm. When I asked why she hadn't made more of her injuries before this, she replied, "I didn't want to worry you about when you were trying to save us all." Mayday calls. Next, see. Mayday calls has been used to signal ship struck in disaster situation through radio. So, the whole night was endless routine of pumping out the water and steering the wheel, working the radio. There were no replies to their signal sent over the radio, as they were in the remotest part of the world. Sue's head was now more swollen, and she had two black eyes with deep cut in her arm. When, upon being asked by her father that why she didn't tell him about her injuries, she said she didn't want to worry him, as he was trying to save all of them. So, अब वो क्या है, ऐसे एरिया में है, रिमोटेस्ट पार्ट में है, और जहाँ क्या है रेडियो का कोई सिग्नल भी नहीं आ रहा और ना ही उनको कोई सुन रहा है, और ऑन द अदर हैंड क्या है, उसकी जो डॉटर है वो और भी ज़्यादा क्या है इससे विक्टिम बनती जा रही है इसकी, उसके हैंड पे भी कट हो गया है, अब उसकी आइज़ जो हैं वो भी क्या है पूरी स्वोलन है। और वो क्या है, उसके फादर जब उससे पूछते हैं कि तूने पहले हमें क्यों नहीं बताया इस चीज़ों के बारे में, और वो क्या बोलती है कि मैं आपको बता के ये परेशान नहीं करना चाहती थी क्योंकि आप क्या है सभी को बचाने में लगे हो। बाय मॉर्निंग ऑन 3rd Jan, द pumps had water level sufficiently under control for us to take 2 hours rest in rotation, but we still had tremendous leaks somewhere below the waterline, and on checking I found that nearly all the boat's main rib frames were smashed down to the keel. In fact, there was nothing holding up a whole section of the starboard hull except a few cupboard partitions. We had worked for 15 hours since the wave hit, but wave walker wouldn't hold together long enough for us to reach Australia. I checked our charts, calculated that there were two small islands a few hundred kilometers to the east. One of them, Les Amsterdam, was French scientific base, but our only hope was to reach these pinpricks in the vast ocean. But unless the wind and seas abated so we could hoist sail, our chances would be slim indeed. The great wave had put our auxiliary engine out of the action. Now the water level was under control by morning of 3rd Jan. Then all of them took 2 hour rest, but there was still leakage. Upon checking, the boat rib structure was badly broken down. The ship's condition was so bad that it wouldn't make it till Australia. The narrator checked the chart and calculated that there were 2 small islands a few kilometers to the east. So their only hope was to search and reach that island as soon as possible, but only if the wind and the sea do not cause further damage, else their chances were slim. The wave had destroyed the ship's engine. On 4th Jan, after 36 hours of continuous pumping, we reached the last few centimeters of water. Now we had only to keep pace with water still coming in. We couldn't set any sail on the main mast. Pressure on the rigging would simply pull the damaged section of the hulls apart. So we hoisted the storm jib and headed for where I thought the 2 islands were. Mary found some corned beef and cracker biscuits, and we ate our first meal in almost 2 days. But our respite was short-lived. At 4, black clouds began building up behind us. Within the hour, the wind was back to 40 knots and seas were getting higher. The weather continued to deteriorate throughout the night, and by the dawn on 5th Jan, our situation was again desperate. Now, after 36 hours of continuous pumping, on 4th Jan, the water was only a few centimeters left to be pumped out. Means still water was to be pumped, but they still had to pump out the water, and they couldn't set sail on the main mast. They hoisted the storm jib and sailed toward the 2 small islands. They had their first meal in 2 days. That was beef and biscuits. Next is the rest period was short-lived as black clouds built up around 4 p.m. The wind was now 40 knots and the weather got worse, and by early morning of Jan 5 the situation was bad again. अब क्या है, डे बाय डे जो है वेदर ख़राब होता गया. उन्होंने अपना 2 days बाद पहला मील लिया जो क्या था, बिस्किट और बीफ मीट. When I went in to comfort the children, John asked, "Daddy, we are going to die." I tried to assure him that we could make it, but Daddy, he went on, "we aren't afraid of dying if we can all be together, you and Mama, Sue and I." I could find no words with which to respond, but I left the children's cabin, determined to fight the sea with everything I had to protect the weakened starboard side. I decided to heave to with the undamaged port hull facing the oncoming waves, using an improvised sea anchor of heavy nylon rope and 2 22-liter plastic barrels of paraffin. That evening, Mary and I sat together holding hands as the motion of ship brought more and more water in through the broken planks. We both felt the end was near. Now, narrator's son asked that they were not afraid to die till they all were together. This filled narrator with determination to fight back. He made efforts to protect the weakened starboard side. He used an improvised sea anchor made of heavy nylon rope, and 2 plastic barrels of kerosene. अब क्या है, उसका बेटा बोलने लगा कि हमें अब डरना नहीं चाहिए मौत से, क्योंकि हम सभी इकट्ठे हैं। और इस बात ने ऑथर को, नरेटर को बहुत ज़्यादा क्या किया, उसमें पूरी होप फील करती कि वो वापस क्या है, उठे और फाइट जारी रखें और हम सभी को बचा ले। अब वो क्या है, मरने से नहीं डर रहे। क्यों? क्योंकि वो सभी इकट्ठे हैं। But Wave Walker wrote out of stream, and by the morning of 6, with the wind easing, I tried to get a reading on the sextant. And back in the chart room, I worked on wind speeds, changes of course, drift and current in an effort to calculate our position. The best I could determine was that we were somewhere in 150,000 kilometers of ocean looking for 65-kilometer white island. While I was thinking, Sue, moving painfully, joined me. The left side of her head was now very swollen and her blackened eyes narrowed to slits. She gave me a card she had made. On the front she had drawn caricatures of Mary and me with the words, "Here are some funny people. Did they make you laugh?" I laughed a lot as well. Inside was a message, "Oh, how I love you both." So this card is to say thank you and let's hope for the best. Somehow we had to make it. While author was thinking about the area they had to cover to reach small island, Sue joined him. She was in pain. The left side of her head was swollen. Her blackened eyes had narrowed down to slits. She gave him a card which she made herself. On the front of the card was a cartoon image of her parents with words written about them being funny people and how they made her laugh. On the inside of card, she told them how she loved them both and she wanted to thank both of them. And this made the narrator realize that they had to make it to the island.